Okay, so let's get started. We are live with Python for All Cohort 1. If you all are ready with me, okay, if you all are ready with me, let me know in the chat if you all can see my face, screen, audio, everything. Just let me know. Awesome, awesome. Able to see the screen? Are you able to see me? Are you able to see me? Okay, are you able to hear me? And how many of you are energetic? How many of you are energetic? So, is my face visible? Is my face screen okay? Superb. Shripad says yes. Ashish says yes. Great, great, great. Superb. Great going. All good. That's great. We have Ignatius. Hello. I think Ignatius, you are joining from Uganda, I think. Superb. Great, great. That's amazing. It's just great to, expand the horizons and, able to teach and train. Superb. That's just amazing. So let's get started. Hello everyone. Welcome to Python for All Cohort 1. And in today's session, it's the introduction session. We are just getting started with things. We are trying to understand the ins and outs of Python. So let's get started. A small brief about who we are, what we do. So welcome to Skill Up Club. We are on a mission to upskill you for the future ready tech. In the coming future, when there is, things like generative AI, LLMs, Python programming, DevOps, cloud, data science, there's a lot of things coming, and everyone who wishes to learn that, upskill for a better future, this you will be finding on Skill Up Club, and we are starting with Python so that you can get started with the coding development side. Now the thing is, how are we going to reach to our destination where we will be getting an excellence in Python? How are we planning to do that? So there's a simple plan. So as I told you all, back in 2016, when I started my journey, I started as a teaching assistant, where my work was to gather notes, to create quizzes, tests for the students, and that basically helped a lot to reach out to my classmates, to understand what the problems they're facing through. And so on, my journey started in Python, software engineering, cloud engineering, DevOps, now in platform. So one thing which I understood, that if you understand the Python basics and fundamentals, if you create a goal, that my goal is to understand the basics, the fundamentals, then you will be able to do a lot many things. So generally, one mistake that we do in our learning journey is we generally skip the basics part. What we want is, we want projects, we want interview question, we want scenario based question. How many of you are in that category, that hey, I want a new project, I want a new scenario based question, I want to show that I am a 3 years experienced person? How many of you are, see, be honest, okay? Be honest. How many of you want that ki, okay, I should be, I'm a fresher, but I should be seen as an experienced person? Or someone who is an experienced person, he or she wants that, okay, I am 10 years experience, at least I should be having big projects in my resume, right? But that's one mistake which they do. Good things take time, and that's why you should be taking time to understand the good things, which are the basics and fundamentals of Python. Once you are familiar in how to write code, how to start, you know a simple automation script or a simple Python script, that's when you get confidence that hey, I know something, basic. Let's try one step advanced, let's try one step ahead. And that's when goal 2 comes into picture. How you will be getting data from different sources and visualizing that data, doing some analysis on that data. And that is known as Python for data analytics, where we will be looking into a data of some customers, some mall going customers, and we will be visualizing that, analyzing that, making stories on that data using Python. Now, once that part is done, we will be moving to one of the hottest topics in market today. Actually, two of the hottest topics in market, which is web development and DevOps. So when we say web development, I am not talking about front end development, unfortunately. It's mostly on back end development. Can anyone guess which all are the frameworks of Python which are very, very popular in back end development? Any guesses in the chat? Okay, any guesses in the chat? So someone says Django, Flask, Django. What if I tell you in this cohort, you will be getting Flask as well as Django and a full fledged project of Django. And that project was a assignment given to me from a multinational company for a, I think, 5 year experience. So that level of project we will be doing. So, but to reach here, you'll have to first clear this goal. And coming to the most interesting thing, which you will be obviously waiting for it, which is DevOps and cloud. Nowadays, everyone is talking about automation. Everyone is talking about scaling. Everyone is talking about how easy we can do repetitive tasks in least manual effort. And that's where Python for DevOps plays an important role. Okay, that's how you will be going, forward. So, if you want to target Python as a programming language, understanding the basics and understanding a few domains is very important. And that's how you move forward. Now, you must be having a question that, see, Shripad has a question. Okay, Abhishek asks, sir, will you teach REST API as well? That's true. In Django, there is a concept of REST APIs which we will be, looking into. So definitely I'll be teaching that. Shripad says, if we don't know Django Flask, how can we write Python code? So the thing is, if you don't know how to write Python code, you won't be able to write Django. It's the other way around. So first learn the basics and then go to Django and Flask. Okay. But the question comes, why Python? Why Python? Why should I learn Python? There is an option of Golang. There's an option of JavaScript. There's an option of Java. There's option of C, C++, so many options. Why Python? The first reason is the market cap of Python is huge, which simply means if you are targeting a job of data analyst or a data scientist or a data engineer, or you're targeting a job of DevOps cloud, or you're targeting a job of backend developer, or you're targeting a job of Python developer, so you get a hold of that Python is a widely asked programming language as compared to others. Okay, so it's a multi-purpose language. You can do anything and everything in Python, so it's just amazing if you ask me. But the question comes, how in this cohort we will be learning Python. Again, the cohort is divided into four major segments. First is Python fundamentals. So today we will be going to start off with that. Okay. Second is Python for data analytics, where you will be seeing that how data analytics is done using Python. Third would be Python for web development, mostly backend engineering. And last is Python for DevOps and cloud. Okay. And towards the end of the cohort, which is whenever we are finishing the cohort on 24th of March, on let's say after 2 weeks, you will be getting projects for your resume. And obviously there is a community support, Skill Up Club. So if you go to community.skillupclub, you can ask tons of questions there. There will be people answering you all the questions. Plus you'll get an online compiler where you can start working on Python. But before going to online compiler or community or project, everything, just remember one thing: charity begins at home. which means you should start contributing in your home, in your own laptop, in your own machine. Which brings me to the next segment of this particular session. We will be starting with local installation and setup. Okay, we will be starting with the local installation and setup. I hope you are able to see this screen where I am writing on the board. Let's call it prerequisite. Okay. So someone is asking, do we get recordings for the same? Yes, you will be getting recordings, and weekends I will be coming live to answer your questions, to guide you, to check whether you are studying or not. So whether you are upskilling or not. So I'll be there to help you all. Okay. So are you able to see this particular part where I've written setup and prerequisites? Awesome. That's great. Which means the entire screen is shared. Great. So first of all, as you all know that Python is a programming language, you have to install Python in your own system. So in your own system, there should be Python installed. How many of you went through the video where I have talked about the prerequisite that you should be having before you join the cohort? Did an okay, Kanchan did that. That's amazing. Superb. Anyone else who saw the prerequisite video? Okay. So there might be people who have not seen the prerequisite video. So that's why I'll be going through them. What all things you need to download. So you should be going to python.org. Okay. Go to python.org. And once you go to python.org, you will find downloads. Okay. You will find downloads. Now I'll zoom this for you. Okay, I'll zoom this for you. Now whichever version you want, you can download. In this particular cohort, we are focusing on Python version 3.9 and above. Okay, so even if you have 3.9, it's fine. Even if you have Python 3.10, completely fine. 3.11, completely fine. 3.12, perfect. If you have 3.13, please let me know also where did you get that, because the current version is 3.12, which is the latest version, but again it's in a beta release. Okay, so best to have a version. So 3.13 pre-release is available, but it's not, so anything which is pre-release, try to avoid it. Okay, so currently we will be working on Python 3.9 or 3.10. Anything that is in security, you should definitely start working on that. Okay, so how many of you understood how to install Python? It's very simple. Take any version you want. Let's say I want Python 3.11. Okay, I'll just click on download. Okay, now whichever version of operating system I am using, let's say I'm using Mac OS or Linux or Windows, I'll just click on that and I'll start downloading it. Okay, so I'll give you some time to set up your Python. Okay, it hardly takes a minute or two. So I'll share the link. So Ignatius is asking, I installed 3.12. Do I uninstall and use 3.9? No need. Even if you have 3.12, it's completely fine. So every version of Python gets some kind of updates. Okay, and those updates you can read here, release notes. So it's not that big of a change in 3.9 and 3.10. So in my local, I have two versions, which is 3.9 and 3.11. Both are fine. Okay, both are fine. If you can have any, completely fine. So I'll just share this link with everyone in the chat. So if you have 3.12.1, completely fine. No issues at all. Okay, completely fine. Any version above 3.9 is completely fine. Okay, completely fine. Okay, so how many of you have Python installed in their systems? Let me know in the chat if you have Python installed. So Swastik has installed, Ignatius has installed, that's great. Ashish has installed, amazing Ashish. Kanchan is ready with Python. Mrunmai, all good to go. Virus is all ready, that's great, that's great, super. Sachin, installed, great. Ramesh, installed, I have, awesome. Okay. So someone is using company laptop, but that's completely fine. You can start. If you want to, practice Python on an online compiler, I have play.skillupclub.co, which gives you a online Python interpreter, which you can use. It's an online compiler, so you can check that as well. Okay, if you wish to just be lazy and not start everything, you can start here as well. But best, what I said, charity begins at home. So start on your home, which is your laptop, your PC, personal computer, laptop, desktop, in your home. Start from there and then move to cloud and then move to other sources. Okay, so first is your system should be having Python. Second is an IDE, which is Integrated Development Environment, which is what? Something known as Visual Studio Code. Okay, VS Code. There are many IDs like PyCharm. Okay, PyCharm. There is something known as brackets. You might be having so many. Okay, Atom, or I don't know. There are so many IDEs and plethora of them. But I personally like Visual Studio Code because you can do almost everything in that. You can do anything and everything in Visual Studio Code. So best to go to a new tab and go to VS Code download. VS Code download. Go to download Visual Studio Code, and then whichever operating system you are using, just download that particular software, and it's pretty straightforward. How many of you have VS Code? I've shared the link in the chat. How many of you have VS Code installed in their system? Yes, I have. That's great. I have. Nice. Yogesh, me, Sanjay has it, Sachin has it, Ramesh, I have PyCharm. That's fine. But if you are, we will be doing things in Visual Studio Code. So if you want to just be, with on the same page with everyone, you can start with Visual Studio Code. If you are comfortable in PyCharm, you can join in PyCharm. But as everyone is doing in Visual Studio Code, it's highly recommended to have the Visual Studio Code only, so that everyone is on the same page. Okay, Mrunmai has it, great. Ignatius installed, great. Okay, now I'll tell you a secret trick. There is one, something known as a notebook. Okay, there is something known as notebook. Now, notebook is not that the school and college notebook that you have generally. No, not that. It's not that. There's something known as notebook in Python, on which you have cells. And in that cell, whatever code you write, that particular cell of code will be executed. And one of the most popular notebook is Jupyter notebook. Generally, people with data analytics, data science, machine learning, they generally use these kind of notebooks. There is one alternate to that, which is known as Google Colab. Google Colab. Okay. Just search for Google Colab on Google, and first link of Google Colab will be open to you. And just open this. You'll see something like this. Okay, you'll see a lot of, see how many notebooks I have made. So rest assured, you are in safe hands. I've been working on a lot of Python. So yeah, that's it. So just create an account on Google Colab and you should be good to go. And these are the only three things you will be needing. That's it. Only three things you will be needing in this cohort. That's it. If there is something new that's to be added, I'll definitely tell you. So how many of you are or will be ready with these three things? That you need Python in your system, you need an IDE, and for practice purposes, you can have Google Colab. Colab. I'll just share the link to Google Colab. Okay. I hope everyone is ready with these three things. Yes, if yes, just drop a yes in the chat so that I'll get to know that you all are ready with this. Super. Nice. Amazing. You all are, or just, you all are energetic. You are ready to do stuff. Okay, that's great. First, let's understand Python. Okay. So I'll tell you a trick. Be it Python, be it Golang, be it Java, be it any programming language of this world, you can easily learn it. Just understand what a programming language does. See this. Okay, I'll just make it full screen. Okay, just see this. This is your computer. Okay, this is your computer. This computer has an operating system. And if you are able to tell this operating system some kind of commands, some kind of instructions, it will basically do work for you. Okay? This computer will do work for you based on operating system and whatever commands you give it. Okay? Now, if you want to do some kind of, let's say, automation work, or some kind of programming work, or some kind of DevOps work, or some kind of development work, or any kind of work, you need some set of instructions to be given to this computer, to be given to this operating system, and then this operating system will help you to do that work. Now, these instructions is basically your code. Okay? These instructions is basically your code. Now, it depends on you, what instructions you are giving. And that basically is executed by the computer and you're good to go. So first thing you should be understanding is never ever be afraid of coding. Okay? Afraid of coding. How many of you have a fear saying that coding is difficult? How many of you have? Be very honest, be very genuine. The more honest you are, the better it will be for the trainer to understand your fear and to let go of it. Okay? Little bit a fear that you don't know how to write code. Okay? Shripad, I'm too fearful. Okay? Since childhood. Okay? So just understand a simple thing. How many of you have been giving instructions to their siblings, or maybe to their friends, or maybe to their family members or relatives, saying that, hey, please do this for me. Hey, please do this for me. Please do this. Please, can you do this? I'm pretty sure everyone has given some kind of instructions. And you must be giving those instructions in your language, which is Hindi, English, and some whatever language you are using. Similarly, there is a beautiful language called Python. And in using that language, you have to give instructions. That's simple. Okay. So, for example, Kishan says, can't think from where should I start. I'll tell you. Where should you start? Okay. Now think, whenever you want to write an instruction, you want to write it in a file. Okay. You want to write it in a file. Okay. Whatever instruction you have to give to your operating system, to your computer, you have to write it in a file and write it in such a way that this operating system understands it. And if this operating system will understand it, then it will do the work. Okay. So whatever you want to do, just write it, those instructions in a file. Just make sure that, let's say you are working on a programming language like Python. So this file should have a syntax. What is a syntax? The basic conventions, or the basics, syntax or code, type of code, the language, the keywords, the tokens which you need to use should be following those particular programming principles. So Python syntax you should be knowing, and that's it. Coding is not difficult. I'll show you how easy it is to code. And this file is a Python file. How do you know? It should end with dot py. It should end with dot py. If a file is ending with dot py, it's a Python file. If a file is ending with dot txt, can you write in the chat which kind of file is that? If a file is ending in dot txt, what kind of file is that? It's a text file. That's great. If a file is ending with dot ppt, what is that? It's a PowerPoint presentation file. Okay. If a file is ending with dot java, it's a Java file. Similarly, if it's ending with dot py, it's a Python file. Okay. Simple. Now, how to write a Python file? This should be your first step. Okay. So as Kishan was saying, can't think from where should I start. So start from writing a .py file. So let's get started. Okay. So I'll go to my Visual Studio Code. Okay. I'll go to my Visual Studio Code. Simple. And what I'll do is, I'll just go here. Okay. How many of you can see this kind of screen on your side? On your side, how many of you can see the screen of Visual Studio Code? Okay. You all can see on your side as well. Okay. From my side, I can see it. From your side as well. Great. Go to open folder. Okay. Go to open folder. Click on open folder, and you will see some kind of your computer files. Okay. Now think of any directory or any folder that you love. For example, I have a folder called Shubham. In Shubham, I have a folder called documents. In documents, I have a folder called work. In work, whichever company I am working on, I just write that. For example, currently I'm working as a senior staff engineer. So I've written this. I'm working on Train with Shubham. I've written this. I'm working in Skill Up Club. I've written this. So I'll just open Skill Up Club. And there's a folder called Python for all. This folder might not be present for you all. So what I'll do is, I'll just create a new folder here. And I'll call it Python for all 1. Okay, I'll just call it Python for all 1. You can call it whatever you like. Okay, whatever. This is just a folder. Okay, just a folder where you will be keeping all these files. All these files you will be keeping inside this folder. Okay, and just create that folder. Just click on create and just click on open. So once you do that, the folder that you wrote, it will come here. And inside that folder, you can do whatever you want. You can create new files. You can do, add images, add movies, add stories, whatever. Okay. Just reach at this stage where you are able to create a folder called anything Python for all, my learning, my first session, or anything Python or whatever you like. Just reach here and I'll wait for you all. Just reach here. I'll wait for you all. Okay. How many of you have reached here? Okay. So open VS Code. Try to open a new folder. If you are not able to open a new folder, just go to this menu bar. Okay. Menu bar, file, open folder. Okay. Something like this. I'll wait for you. Okay. We'll go very slow. Because this is the first session, and first session, not everyone has written a line of code. Today, I will be showing you how to write code. Okay. Great. So Shripad done, Ranjan done. Great. Yogesh, yes. Superb. Just open a folder. That's it. Done. Great, great. Done. Sachin done. Mrunmay also done. Great. Sanjay done. Okay. Nice. Superb. Ignatius also done. Okay. Good. Kanchan, good going. Superb. Now that you have created a folder, just see this simple icon, new file, new folder, refresh, minimize. Just click on new file. And what do you want to name your first Python file? Just give me a name in the chat. What name you want to give to your first Python file? It can be anything, whatever you like. Okay. What name you want to give to your first Python file? Let's see. Let's see how many of you get the extension right. Give the name of first Python file. You can write it in the chat, whatever name you like, your favorite. Changmeme.py. Change, it's okay. Changeme.py. Okay. Changeme.py, first Python code.py, my first.py. Okay. So I'm getting to know how you write things. Okay. So from also have one look in your chat screen as well, what others are writing. Demo1.py, welcome.py. Okay, great. My first code.py. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine, Ashish. That's fine. My first file.py, hello world.py, hello world.py. Okay. So before we get started, before we write anything, there's some rules about programming, about Python programming that you should be knowing. So Python, if you imagine Python, if I write Python here, if you see the symbol, what is this? What is this? It's a, Python is a snake. It's a, it's a kind of snake. So this has a meaning. This has a meaning. So what is a python? Python is basically a reptile, which is a snake basically. And from that only Python programming language, it came into picture. Now what is the meaning of that? There is something known as snake case and something known as camel case. There's something known as snake case and something known as camel case. Now, what is snake case? So, how does a snake walk? Something like this. How does a camel walk? Big camel, big hump. Okay. Now, whenever you write a file, always make sure the case is small case, which means if you are writing hello world, it should be hello, then underscore world dot py. If you are writing my first file, it should be my underscore first underscore file dot py. This is known as what? Snake case. Now, how many of you will rewrite their file name which you sent? How many of you got it wrong? How many of you got it wrong? Or how many of you got to learn something new? Okay. So whenever you write a file name or any kind of variable name or anything in Python, avoid using space. Okay. Avoid using space. Hyphen, again, not recommended. Underscore is recommended. Okay. Again, hyphen is not recommended. Underscore is recommended. Okay. So can you all, for example, Yogesh wrote my first file. So it should be something like this. Okay. All small and then this thing. Okay. So Ankur says, joined late. One question: is this the full Python course? Yes, you will be starting from basics to advanced. Okay. So why hyphen is not recommended? Generally, it's a practice of casing, snake case. Okay. In camel case, so you can write folder names in that, completely fine. But generally, there is a way of writing things which is known as casing, snake case, and camel case. Camel case looks something like this: my first file. So every new word will come as a capital word. Okay. So in Python, we follow snake case. So let's create our first file. Let's call it hello world.py. Okay. Hello world.py. Just click on enter. Hello world.py. Now understand that I want to give some instruction to my machine, that hey machine, can you print something for me? So you'll have to understand, think out loud in your mind, that what instruction I want to give to machine. I want to write, can you print function? What I want to do, I want to perform a function. So whenever you create a function, always remember this parenthesis. Let's say the instruction I want to give to my computer is, hey computer, can you print? Now this print is a keyword, it's just a word, but I want computer to perform some sort of action. So this has to be a function. So whenever you write a function, just give parenthesis. Okay, parenthesis. Now whenever you give a dialogue or a script or a sentence to someone, generally we do it in double quotes. And I quote, Python is super easy. Okay. And I quote, Python is super easy. Now I want my computer to print that Python is super easy. Okay. That's it. And what I'll do is, I'll just right click here and there is a run Python. Okay. There's a run Python here. Run Python. And run Python file in terminal. See, what I did, I went to this screen, I just right clicked here, run Python, and run Python file in terminal. When I click this, see, this Python file ran and it printed Python is super easy. Okay, it did something. I wanted my file to do something and it did something. Okay, it did something, at least something. Now, this is one way of doing or running Python. There is one more way. Whenever you write your code, go to this top terminal. Okay, just go to this top terminal and just click on new terminal. Okay, just click on new terminal. And once you are in the new terminal, see this. Your folder name should be here. Okay, folder name should be here. Okay, now you must be asking, hey, in folder name, why did you write hyphen and not underscore? Because at that time I'm working on my file system. I'm not writing Python, or it's not, it's just a folder name. It's completely fine. But when I'm writing a file or a Python code, I'll follow snake case. Here I will write Python. Python, I'm telling my operating system, Python, please run this particular file, hello world.py. So I'll write Python hello world.py. And when I press enter, the print, whatever print statement, whatever instruction I gave, that instruction is on the screen. That instruction is basically given on the screen. Okay. Now what I want you all to do, I want you all to write your first Python file. It can be anything. Make errors, do anything, write your first Python file, open a terminal and just run that Python file. Just do that for me. Okay, take your time. Take 2 minutes, take 10 minutes, then take 1 hour. I'll be waiting for you. Write your first Python file and just try to run it. That's it. First task for the day. Write a Python file and just try to run it. Let's see how many of you can do that. Just run your Python file. Let's see if you are able to run it. So Ashish, done. Okay, that's great. You're able to run your Python file, which is a good thing. Okay, Mranmai, done. You're able to run. That's great. So basically what you did is you wrote a file, gave those instructions to your operating system, and that work is done. Simple. Now, just think out loud. Whatever you want to do, just drop it in this file, run that file, and done. So I got 2 done. I'm waiting for others. How many of you have written a simple Python file and went ahead? Okay, just try it. Okay, Sachin also done. Great. Superb. Ignatius done. Swastik done. Shripad as a screenshot to share. So it shows invalid syntax. So if you see what Shripad is has shared in the chat, I'll just bring it to the main screen. So this is the error that Shripad got. So syntax error, invalid syntax. Now whenever you get a syntax error or something like this, just try to pat your back, because this is the first error that you got. And whenever you are getting an error, this is a indication that you are in a right direction. Okay, so how to understand this? See this, you are getting these 3 arrows. You are getting these 3 arrows. What does that mean? It means you are not here. So this percentage or dollar, wherever, this shows you are in a terminal. But when this 3 arrow comes, it shows that you are inside Python terminal. Python has its own terminal known as Python interactive terminal. How to get that? If you write on the terminal Python, enter. See this? You got these 3 lines. Now the problem is you are not running your file in Python terminal. So you're not running your file in your computer terminal. You're running in Python terminal. That's why you're getting a syntax error. So what you have to do is, on this 3 lines, just press exit, and exit is a function. You want to exit. So it's a function. Curly, so parenthesis open, parenthesis closed, enter. You come out of the Python terminal. And now here, just do, if you are on Windows, just do dir. If you are on Linux or Mac, just do ls, and make sure your file is here. Once your file is here, just write Python hello world or whatever your file name is, and enter. See this. Now you will be able to solve that error. Okay, Kanchan done. Shripa try. Okay, getting it? See, this is the fear of coding. So people generally get errors, and they think that, oh, I'm getting an error, it's of no use, I should be leaving coding. When in reality, errors help you learn something new. So because of Shripad's error, you all got to know about what? Python interactive terminal. Now this Python interactive terminal is so cool. Whatever you want to write, you can directly write here. So let's say Python is super easy. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. See, it is running. I want to add 2 and 2. 2 plus 2, 4. 100 multiplied by 58, 5800. So it's Very, very cool. So if I want to exit, curly, parenthesis open, parenthesis close, enter. I came outside the Python interpreter. Happy? Okay. Great. Okay. So Ranjan has an issue. Okay. So no Python interpreter selected. Please select a Python. So just click on select Python interpreter, and once interpreter is there, so it is saying Python not installed, which means your VS Code, your Visual Studio Code is now not able to understand Python if Python is installed or not. Okay, so install Python and just reload or restart Visual Studio Code. You should be good to go. Okay, you should be good to go once you install Python and reload. Okay, great. So in the meanwhile, we saw something. We saw that if I want to give an addition, let's say print 5 plus 5. Print 5 plus 5. And if I am running Python file name, I am getting Python is super easy and 10. How is Python as a language understanding what is this? Whatever is this, it is printing as it is. But 5 plus 5, it should be printing 5 plus 5, right? But it is actually computing 10. What is this? How is Python able to understand this? This is because of a concept known as data types. Data types. Before learning data types, you should be understanding the concept of variables and constants. Variables and constants. Okay. See, we all have constants in our life. We all are young. We all are, exploring the world, and it's always good to have a constant with us. Okay. But I'm not talking about that constant. Okay. For some time, don't think about her or him. Okay. Think about the things which don't change. For example, value of 5. It won't change. 5 will be 5 only. Value of 500. It won't change. Okay. It will be 500 only. But if I put this 500 in a particular variable called A, or let's say I put a variable called name is equal to Shubham. Now the value of Shubham will not change. But let's say tomorrow I want to change the name to, let's say, Shripad. Okay. Let's say I want to change the name to Shripad. So the value of variable is changing. Variable value is changing. But the constant part is not changing. So if you understand variable, anything that is able to change, vary in different shape sizes, variable can change, constant can't change. So let's say I want to give a number num1, which is a variable, and I want to give it a value of 10. And another variable called num2, and I want to give it a value of 45, let's say. Okay, 45. And what I want to do, the addition of this variable and this variable, I want to put in num3, which is the addition of num1 plus num2. So the instruction I'm giving to my computer is, hey computer, there is a variable which has a constant value of 10. There is another variable which has a constant value of 45. I want to put the sum or the addition of these two variables into a third variable called num3, and I want to print something saying that addition is what? Addition is comma num3. Addition is num3. I want to print something like this. Okay. So you thought in your mind, okay, I have a num1, I have a num2, bam, num3 should be created. Okay. You thought something. Just write that into an instruction. Variable 1, give it a value. Variable 2, give it a value. Variable 3, addition of that. And whatever variable 3 is, you want to print it. And just run this file. Python hello world.py, enter. The addition is 55. So basically you are able to add two numbers using Python. Now let's try to break this down. How did this work? Just copy this, okay? Let's try to break it down. What is this? Now, whenever you're learning Python, just understand how is Python working. How is Python working? One thing did you notice? Whatever I write first is printed first. Whatever is I write next is running next. Whatever I write next is running next. How many of you observed that? That whenever I run Python file, it runs from top to bottom. How many of you observed this? That if I write something here, that will run first. If I write something here, that will run after that, and so on. One after the other, one after other. Okay. So Python uses an interpreter. It understands line by line. Okay. It understands line by line what it is written. Okay. Understands line by line. And if it finds everything is fine, it starts executing it. Now let's try to understand this. If Python interpreter, this person who is trying to look into this code, what it is trying to understand. This equal to is basically what? Operator. Operator. What operator? Assignment operator. What is assignment? Whatever value is coming here, it will assign to this variable. Okay. Similarly, if I wanted to give name Shripad, that name will be assigned to this variable. If I wanted to give Shubham, that value will be assigned to this. If I want to give 500, that will be assigned to this. That's why it's very important to understand assignment operator. Okay. Now, this is another operator. This is known as addition operator. Addition operator. If I want to perform addition, I can use addition operator. Can anyone give me in the chat what would be the subtraction operator? Anyone would like to guess in the chat? Guess. Random guess. Okay. Multiplication operator. Okay. Asterisk multiply. Division operator, division. Slash. If you want to find, division also has two parts. Let's say I want to divide 45 by 5. So when I divide 45 by 5, quotient is 9 and remainder is 0. So this part, the operator is slash. This remainder, the operator is modulus. Okay. So if I want remainder, I'll use modulus operator. If I want quotient, I will use this thing. Okay. Now see this magic. Now see this magic of understanding operator. The addition is num3. Now, if I want to do subtraction, num3 is equal to num underscore 1 minus num underscore 2. And I can directly write, copy this, paste here. Subtraction is num3. And similarly, I'll just copy this. Multiplication is num3. Similarly, I'll just copy this. Division quotient is slash. Similarly, division remainder is percentage. How many of you are understanding that they have just built a calculator, a simple calculator, in just 1 hour of learning Python? How many of you are getting it? That I just have to think. I just have to put my thoughts into instructions and I have to give it to a system, give it to my operating system, and that's it. You will be able to create work, whatever work you want. How many of you can try this? Anyone who can try this, or anyone who has already tried it? How many of you understood this? How many of you understood this? Just let me know if you understood the concept of operators. Yes? No need to write space after each line. This is just for some kind of visibility. That's why I'm doing. Okay? No need to write space after each line. Okay? Getting it? Now, how many of you have a thought that, hey, I gave the value of num1 as 10. I gave the value of num2 as 45. But what if I had the superpower of asking a user input to give me the value? And whatever value you give me, I'll give all the calculations. How many of you would find it cool if I got the power to ask the user that, hey, give me the input, and based on your input, I'll give the calculations? Great. Now just understand, whatever you think, write the code. So instead of hard coding 10 and 45, I'll just delete that. And I want to take an input. Input is a function in Python. So function. I have to take an input saying that enter first number. And similarly, I have to take an input, enter second number. Okay. How cool is that? That whatever I think, I just write it in English in Python. So basically, Python is nothing but an English programming language. And that is what the concept of high level language is. High level language. Anything that humans can understand, high level language. And Python is again a high level language. Low level language is what machines understand. Okay. So input, enter first number, input, enter second number. Okay. How many of you understood the concept of input? If you want the user to give an input, this is what you have to write. Okay. Now see this. Now see what will happen. Okay. How many of you are with me? How many of you are with me? I hope you all are not facing that I am not understanding anything. How many of you are with me? Are you all getting? Are you all understanding this? Okay, getting it? Great, great. Enter the first number, enter the second number. Okay. And I'll just run this. Python hello world.py. Okay. Hello world.py. Enter. See, enter the first number. Can you all write it in the chat? Which number do you want me to enter? Anyone who will write the first number, I'll just enter it. 100. Okay, 100. Okay. Enter the second number. Just write any number on the chat. I'll just enter it. Kanchan 400. Okay, 400. Now see what kind of magic / joke will happen. Enter. Error. Oh my god. Error. So basically, enter the first number 100. Enter the second number 400. The addition is 1,400,000. Is the addition correct? 1,400,000. Is the addition correct? How many of you think it is correct? No, it's not correct. But can you see a pattern what it did? Can you see a pattern what it did? How did addition became 100 and 400? Can you see a pattern? How many of you think they see something pattern in this? 100 and 400, how it became 1,004,000? So can you see, first number is 100, second number is 400, and 100 in between it is plus and 400. It just joined these two numbers. Concatenate, join these two numbers. Which means whenever you take input from the user, it is taking as string. And here comes the concept of what? Data types. So every type of data acts differently. Every type of data acts differently. For example, if I have my first name as Shubham and my second name as Londhe, if I do first name F name is equal to Shubham, L name is equal to Londhe, if I do F name plus L name, it will come to Shubham Londhe. Why? Because this is of a data type called string. String is a data type, a type of data in Python which is a collection of characters. But whenever you want to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, you need integer type. In Python, integer type is represented by something which is known as int. So basically, whenever you take an input, what is the data type that you get? Can anyone write it in the chat? Whenever I use input function, whenever I use this input function, what is the data type I am getting? It is getting this type of data, this double quotes, string type of data. Whenever I take input, it is taking string type of data. Now I have to convert, or in programming language we call it type cast. I want to typecast string into integer. So it's very simple. I'll just write, what is the integer syntax in Python? In Python, what is the integer syntax? What is it called? int. Okay, Yogesh says int. I'll wait for others to write what is the integer syntax in Python. Ranjan says int, Shripad says int. Okay, I think you all are right. So if I'll write, before input, I'll just write int and I'll open the bracket, and this entire input, what is that? It is a string, and I'll convert it or typecast it. Similarly, here also int, I'll convert it or typecast it. So this is basically typecasting. Now, hey, why are you writing in green? And what is this hash? This hash means this part will not be included in the code. It's a comment. Okay, you pass comment, right? Which people ignore. So Python also ignores anything that starts with hash. Okay, this is known as comment. Okay. So what I've done, this is a string. I am converting that string into integer. Now that I've converted, let's try to run this program again. Now let's do that exercise again. Whoever writes the first number in the chat, that number I'll use directly. What is the first number that you want to write in the code? 80. Okay. Second number, 1000. Okay, now see this magic. Addition is 1080, subtraction is minus 920, multiplication is 80,000, division quotient is 0.08 something, division remainder is 80. Oh, now it worked. How many of you understood that whenever you want to do some kind of arithmetic operation, arithmetic operators, that time you need integer? String will not work. How many of you are slowly understanding that, hey, this is what coding looks like? You just have to give instructions in a format that particular language understands. That's it. That is what coding is. You have to write a particular type of syntax in a way that the program or the programming language understands. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this and I'll paste it in the chat so that you all will be able to is there any difference between typecasting and type conversion? So basically, what is typecasting? Data type changing. So not much difference. So if you do something like this explicitly, it is you are changing forcibly. So this is known as typecasting. Okay. And see this 0.08. This happened automatically, right? This is implicit. Okay. Implicit type conversion automatically got converted. So this 80 is an integer. 0 point anything that is point, it is known as float. So if you talk about data types in Python, there are basically 4 data types: integer, float, then you have boolean. Boolean means either true or false. Integer, float, boolean, anyone who can else, you can tell based on the above discussion. What do you think? What would be the 4th data type based on the above discussion that we have? String, str. Now, I'll give you a small break. I want everyone to try this particular code on your side and then show me the screenshot. Just take a screenshot and paste it in the chat, and that way I'll get to know that you are able to understand. Okay? I'll just copy this code and I'll paste it. Try to run this code on your side and see if you're able to run it or not. Okay? Great. Anyone who is able to run it? Great. Okay, so Ranjan is getting that syntax error which same Shripad was getting. So Ranjan, you have opened the Python terminal. So those 3 this. This is basically Python terminal. So you have to write here exit. Okay, you have to write here exit parentheses as and come out. And also your file is not saved. Make sure this white dot is gone. Okay, make sure this white dot is gone. See, I have this close. If it is not saved, that white dot will come. Okay, for me it is auto save enabled. Okay, okay, so Sachin able to complete. Shripad says whenever I run Python hello world, it is getting error. Show me the error. What is the error you're getting? Good. I'll wait for you all to run this particular Python script because this is your first day. So take it slow, take it, baby steps, and try to at least finish this. Done? Great, great. Not getting any output. Let's see. Okay. The reason why you're not getting any output, Shripad, is your hello-world.py file is inside Python for all folder. So if you see this, Python for all folder, hello world.py is getting this output. But when you are writing Python hello world, this is skill up Python folder. Inside skill up Python folder, there is another folder called Python for all. And exit is not working. Exit is something like this. Exit and then brackets. Exit is a function. So whenever you are trying to write a function, always remember that if you are inside Python terminal and if you write exit, it won't work. So it will writing use exit this time. So exit function, enter, exit. Okay, let's see. Ignatius has written something. Okay, Python index.py. Python is easy. Great, great, great. Nice. Okay, superb. Let's see what Kanchan has written. Python is super easy, working fine. Great. Great. So you all are able to get there. Slowly and steadily, you will reach there. Slowly, slowly. Okay? Slowly, slowly. Let's go slowly. It's a 2-week program. 2 week. Lot of things to cover. If you're getting error, it's just a start. Okay? So Ranjan is getting error. Exit, traceback, most written call, name, exit is not defined. Okay? So try to do control D. Try to do control and D, and that will help you come out. And if you are not able to come out, just kill this. Let's say you are here. Just write control D, you'll come out. See this? Control D. And if you are still not able to come out, simple, just click on this. And just right click and run Python file. Boom. Enter the first number 78, second number 43. You got all of the things. Okay. I am waiting for others to, finish it. I am waiting for others to finish this. How many of you have completed? Okay, Ashish says completed. Virus says me, completed. Kanchan completed. Mrunmai completed. Sanjay is now giving a screenshot. And Sanjay's screenshot. Great. Python hello world completed. Great. Okay, nice. Completed. Great, great, great. Okay. Ranjan, there is something wrong. Let's see what is wrong. Okay. So event to terminal is trying to do the okay. So it says restart Visual Studio Code to apply the latest update. Maybe, maybe the system is just not in your favor. So that try to update and then go to right click run Python file. Okay, just let's try that. If there is something wrong towards the end of the session, okay, let's do one thing. I'll allow you, meanwhile others complete it, I'll allow you to share your screen. How to do that? Worked? Oh, great. Great. Nice. Worked. Good. So that's the thing about coding. You give the instructions to the operating system. You are giving instructions correctly. Maybe the operating system is not in the mood to take your instructions. Try updating the operating system. Try, following what the operating system needs. Okay. So never be afraid of coding. Try to see if it is giving an error, there must be something wrong. All you have to do is write a file, give it to operating system, and it will work. That's it. Okay. Now, this integer, decimal, float, all these things, let's try to create a new file. Okay. Let's create a new file and let's call it data types.py. Data types.py. Just click on data types.py. Now see this. I have a variable called num1. So you can write a variable like this, but you should not write a variable like this, one num. You can't write like this. The variable should not start with a digit. It can start with a number. It can be like this. It can be like this. It's completely fine, but should not start with a number. Okay. Let's say you have num1 is equal to 10. Num2 is equal to 2.5. And enjoying is another variable is equal to T capital RUE true. True means yes. Or false. False means no. Now, I want you all to write in the chat, are you enjoying the session? Just write it in the language of Python. If you are enjoying the session, just write T capital RUE. If you're not enjoying, that's completely fine. You can write false. Okay. Enjoying is equal to true. Okay, great. So I'll just write T capital RUE. So why I wrote T capital? Because it's Python syntax. Okay, T capital. Now, feedback is equal to great or something like this. Okay. Or lol. Hey, self promotion always. Okay, something like this. Okay. Now see this. Can you tell me what is the data type of num1? Can you tell me what is the data type of num1? Now I want to write the data type in a way whatever I write will not be counted or will not be understood by the Python interpreter. What should I be writing? Hash. Hash is basically comment in Python. If you write hash and whatever you write after this, it will not matter. So can you tell me what is the data type of num1? Int. Okay. What is the data type of num2? Float. Okay. What is the data type of enjoying? Enjoying? No, it's a boolean. So what is a boolean? Either true or false. Boolean means either true or false. So bool, bool. And what is the data type of feedback? String. See, now Gayatri is also typing. So I'm just getting to know everyone, that who is typing, who is not typing. Okay. So this is str. But how did you know if it is str or it is a integer or it is this? There's a way of getting it. So if you write type, and in the bracket, type is a function that is used to understand the type of your variable. And if you write type num1, and if you just print it, print it, print type num1. Similarly, print type num2. Similarly, print type enjoying. Print type what? Feedback. So, what is this type? Type is the function that allows you to understand the data type of your variable. And if I run this program now, can you write in the chat what is the terminal command I need to write in order to run this file? Can you tell me? I wrote an instruction in the file. What is the name of the file? Datatypes.py. What I should be writing here in order to run that file? Can anyone tell me what I should be writing here? Python p small, then data types.py, enter. See this? Class integer, class float, class bool, class str. So num1 is of type integer, num2 is of type float, enjoying is of boolean, feedback is str. So Python by default understands what is the data type. Okay, Python by default understands the data type by default. Okay, so you just tell Python that hey, 2.5, it understands that okay, you're talking about a float. Okay, so Python is very easy. So in the last 1.5 hours, how many of you are finding Python easy? That oh, I am writing some kind of instructions and those instructions are working. Sometimes it is not working, but sometimes it is working. And with practice, I'll make it work. So how many of you are finding Python easy? You can rate Python on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 means you're not understanding at all. 10 means you're understanding. 9 means little not understanding, but most of it you understood. So how much you would write to you would like to rate? So Abhishek is understanding, Kanchan is understanding, Ashish understanding. Good. Okay. Okay. You all are understanding. Great. Okay. Great. Let's take a small break. Little break, small break of 5 minutes. And in that small break, you can do whatever you want. You can drink water. You can, roam here and there. Okay, great. Small break. Awesome. Great. Now I'll give you a small roadmap for fundamentals. I'm not teaching anything. Okay, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just trying to give you a small roadmap of fundamentals that you all should be knowing. Okay, you all can take your water bottle, keep your hands off the keyboard, chill, relax, and just hear me out. Okay. Or one more thing you can do is, there is something known as Python for all cohort document, where I am trying to share the roadmap. Okay. How many of you want this detailed syllabus, that what all things you will be learning? Okay. You want it? So anyone with the link is a viewer. Okay, that's fine. I hope it's not an editor and they will delete everything and they will add more things that, hey, tell this as well. Okay, I'll just paste the link. One small update, the 17th March session, I'm keeping it self-paced for some reason. If you want, I'll do it on Monday as well. Okay. But most of you are working professionals. That's why I wanted to ask you first. So tomorrow, 17 March, for some reason, I have to, move. But if you want, we can do it on Monday. If everyone is fine, we can do a live session on Monday as well. Okay. Monday, 7 p.m. If you all are fine with that. If you're not fine with that, we can do it self-paced as well. Okay. Ranjan, fine. That's great. We'll do it on Monday. Okay. So instead of 17th March, I'll write 18th March. Okay. 7 p.m. And instead of self-paced, I'll keep it live. Great. Great. Sounds great for me too. Great. Ashish says not possible. Oh, but whatever we will be covering live, you will get a recording instantly. So don't worry about that. Okay. So just that 17th March, it's a bit traveling. I'm traveling to meet my family for some reason and it's very urgent. So that's why. Okay. Now, have some attention here. 16th March, which is today, installation of Python and setting up of the environment for the cohort. I hope everyone is now set up. Everyone is good to go. Python interpreter. How Python interpreter goes from top to bottom and executes thing. Pep8. Now, you did not talk about Pep8. What is Pep8? So just try to understand. Pep means not that Scooty Pep or Peppa Pig. No. Pep means Python enhancement proposal. Python enhancement proposal. So there's a big community of Python enthusiasts. They want everyone to know Python in the best way possible. So that's why they have created Pep8, which is kind of a Bible for style guide for Python code. So whenever you are, whenever you are free, just read this. How your code should be. Can you see this? Long underscore function underscore name. From where that underscore is coming. So there are some set of rules. The contributors of Python have decided that whenever you write something, always write in underscore snake case. Okay. So all the rules are written here. Okay. All of the rules are written here. Okay. All of the rules are written here. So that is basically Pep8. Python syntax and data types. Python variables. So these things. Okay. So these things we have somewhat covered. Okay. Somewhat we have covered. Okay. We will be talking about these things. Okay. Now, again, coming back to the roadmap. So once you understand these basic things and you understand how to install a package, then you're good to go with a lot of things in Python. You can do data analytics, you can do backend engineering, you can do DevOps, you can do a lot of stuff. Just the thing is, the fundamentals should be clear. Now you must be thinking, how come in one day all the fundamentals will be clear? No. So there are some self-paced topics as well. For example, data structures, list comprehension, built-in function for data structure. So anything that is in green, it simply means you go to Skill Up Club and in your dashboard or this cohort, you go to your course content and you will find whatever topic is in green color, you will find that. It means that particular topic is released and you are good to go. Okay. If it is in green, you are good to go. List comprehension, data structures, you are good to go. Are you able to understand how the cohort is placed? Are you able to understand? How many of you are getting a roadmap of how the cohort is structured so that you get the maximum learning? Okay, the maximum, because this is not just me telling you the basics of Python. We want to build projects like REST APIs, okay, API testing, a lot of crazy stuff we have to do, right? So that's why. Okay, Sanjay has an error. So, invalid literal for int with base 10. Okay. So basically, enter the first number 3.14. Now, see this. Enter the first number is an input. And what you have done to input is you're trying to typecast integer. So whenever you are putting 3.14, what is the data type of that? Float. Integer is at a lower level, float is at a higher level. So that is why you are getting, this kind of problem. Okay, so what you can do is you can convert into float and you can, move forward. Okay. Shripad says eager to learn API. So in order to learn API, you should be good with these things first. The syntax, the instructions part, you should be good with that. Okay. Okay, so the break is over. Let's create a new file. Let's create a new file. Let's call it uh, let's see, motivation. Let's call it motivation. Motivation dot py. Okay. Now you must be wondering, what is this guy coming up with? Every time, sometime he makes calculator, sometime he's doing some motivation.py. Let's see. Now, how many of you feel less motivated? Okay. How many of you feel sometimes they are not motivated? Sometimes that I don't feel like working. I don't feel like, doing this. But if I get this, I will work. If I get that, I will do something like this. How many of you feel that way? That if something happens or if something is happening, I will get, that. If someone gives me a cup of coffee, then I will perform great. Okay. If someone gifts me an iPhone, I will feel amazing. You sometimes get that. Okay. So similarly in Python, there are something known as conditionals. Conditionals. What is conditionals? If a condition is true, then run something or then do something, else do that. If something happens, I'll do that, else I'll do this. Okay. So for example, your name is what? Let's say your name is Shubham. You can write your own name. Okay. And let's say I got a package. Let's say I got a package of let's say 8 LPA. 8. Okay. So a simple condition, if my package is more than 8 LPA, I will switch. If my package is less than 8 LPA, I'll upskill and then switch. Simple. So whatever you're thinking, this is a condition of motivating yourself to switch from one company to other company. So whatever you're thinking, Just write that. If my package is greater than 10 LPA, if my package is greater than 10 LPA, then see this red, it means it is not complete. So whenever you write a condition, this is a condition. If is a keyword and this is a condition. To execute a condition, you have to write colon. And once you write colon, just press enter. And after colon, if you press enter, you will see automatically, if you press enter, automatically 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blank spaces are given. These 4 blank spaces are known as indentation. Indentation. So which means anything you write in this 4 blank spaces, that will run. Print. What I want to print? I will upskill. I will switch my company. Okay. And if the package is not greater than 10 LPA, which means else print what I will print? I will upskill and then switch. So basically, my name is Shubham. The package I am expecting is currently having 8, but if I have a package greater than 10, I will definitely switch. If I don't have a package greater than 10, I will upskill and then switch. Some kind of condition, some hypothetical condition I'm giving. How to execute that condition in Python? The thing that you have to understand is if and else. So what does if means? Anything you write here, if it is true, then this part will execute. If this is not true, then else will execute. Now, the value of package is 8. Is 8 greater than 10? Let me know in the chat. True or false? Is 8 greater than 10? What do you think? No, it's not greater, which means false. And F capital false. Okay, F capital false. So, what will be printed? I will upskill and then switch. So, if I write Python motivation.py, enter, I will upskill and then switch, which means my package is not greater than 10. The package that a company is offering me is not greater than 10. So else will be coming. Now let's say the package which a company is offering it's 12. Then what do you think? What will happen? Will you switch or you will wait? So if my package is 12, I will switch the company. Why? Because this condition is getting satisfied. Okay. This condition is getting satisfied. So the main thing you have to understand is this condition. If it is getting satisfied, then this part will be executed. And always remember, whenever you write semicolon and you press enter, whenever you write semicolon and you press enter, a block starts. And whatever inside is there in this block, that will get executed. And let's say if you want to come out of that block, just don't write those 4 blanks. I wrote else without any blanks, right? So else became a new block. And I wrote colon, enter. Now this is else block. Okay. So this is known as indented block. Okay. Indentation. Okay. Indentation. Now I will give you one more condition. Culture is equal to true. Okay. Culture is equal to true. So if the package is greater than 10, that's my condition. Else if culture. Else, if culture is good, then I will switch. Then also I will switch my company. Else, if the culture is good, then I will switch my company. Now, can you think of a question that why I did not write anything after culture? For example, I did not write good or I did not write anything. Why only culture is written? Why only culture is written? Any guesses? Anyone? Any guess? Ignatius, correct? Because it's a boolean, it's a true. And if evaluates a condition to be true or false. So if you directly write any variable which is a boolean, you don't need to write a condition. Okay. So package is great. Let's say package is 7 LPA. The package the company is offering is 7 LPA. But the culture is good. Okay. So package is greater than 10? No. Elif, which means I have one more condition. Culture is good, I will switch. So even if the package is not of my expectation, but I am giving priority to my culture, that's why I will switch. Okay. So create your own use cases, create your own thoughts, and write those thoughts in Python. Be creative. Try to write some kind of if condition. Okay. You can make anything something like this. If name double equal to Shubham. Okay. So can you see name is equal to Shubham? Will this condition be true or false? Will this condition be true or false? True. Okay. So try to understand the conditions, and based on that conditions, you can, write your syntax. Okay. So Sheikh has written something, name Sheikh, age 25. If age is greater than 27, I will follow to focus on health, which is a very good thought. Else focus on skill. So even if your age is greater than 27 or anything, always focus on your health. Okay. Health is very important. Just remember that health is your real wealth. Okay. So great. Okay. So I can see a lot of you are understanding Python, which is a great thing. Why does this mic look green? Are you all seeing this mic cover as green? I don't know why. It's not green. I think it's some Zoom is doing some kind of trick. Okay. Great. How many of you have understood the concept of conditionals, which is if, elif, else? And always remember the flow is like this. If a condition is satisfied, and if you want to check another condition, elif. If you want to check another condition, elif. If you want to check another condition, elif. If you don't want to check any other condition and give a false, then can anyone tell me what should be the end? What should be the end here? If a condition not satisfied, check another condition, not satisfied, check another condition, not satisfied. Else should be your last condition. If nothing works, then. If nothing works, then. If nothing of the following is true, then false. Okay? Simple. Okay. Again, let's take a pause. Let's take a pause and let's try to take a deep breath. Let's try to absorb everything that you have learned. Okay. And I'll just open the chat. I'll just open the chat so that everyone is able to, ask their doubts. Okay. Yes. Do ask your doubts. Great. So Ashish says in elif, I need to use double equal to for condition. See, good question. That what is the difference between this and this? This is equals. This is what? Can anyone guess or recall? What is the name of this operator? What is the name of this operator? Assignment operator. And this is comparison operator or equals operator. Okay. So the operators are of different types. Greater than equal to, double equal to. Double equal to means exact equal. Less than equal to, not equal to. Anything that is exclamation mark, which means not. So let's say if I have a culture is equal to true and I want to make this as false, I'll directly write not culture. What does this make? If I write exclamation culture, what does this make? If it is true, it will be made as, can anyone guess? Any random guesses? Anything with exclamation, it will just switch. It will make false. Okay? It will just make it false. Okay? Great. You all are doing great, by the way, because for someone who is learning Python for the first time, reaching till here is good. Okay? It's good. Reaching till here is good. So let's take one step ahead. Let's take one step ahead and let's try to, bring back the memories from your childhood. How many of you know math tables? How many of you know mathematics tables? How many of you faced that problem that when you were a kid, at that time, some random uncle auntie of your neighborhood used to say, चार का पहाड़ा सुनाओ, or tell me the table of 4, tell me the table of 19, okay, tell me the table of this, tell me the table of that. Okay, at that time I did not understand that Python can do it for you. Okay, else I would have told those aunties and uncles that, hey, you want to take a table of 578, I'll do it 2 minutes. Okay, so how to do that? So you can do that using something known as loops. Anything that you want to repeat on a loop, that is basically loops. So for example, I want to create, okay, if I want to write a multi-line comment, I don't have to write hash again and again and again and again. I'll just write 1 2 3, enter. Anything that I write in these up 3 and bottom 3 quotes, anything that I write will be a comment. This is a multi-line comment. Okay, and this is a single line comment. This is a multi-line comment, this is a single line comment. Okay, now let's say I want to write a table of 19. So 19 into 1, 19. 19 into 2, 38. 19 into 3. I don't want to do this. Okay. But okay, Kanchan says 57. I'll just trust them. 19 into 4. Those aunties and uncles were right. Okay, now let's see how to do this in Python. Understand what you have to do. This 19 is common. 19 into 1, 2, 3, 4. This 1, 2, 3, 4 is coming, right? So I want 19 into 1 printed. So I want to print what? I want to print 19 into 1. Okay, 19 into 1 I want printed. So if I go here and if I write Python math table.py 19 into 1 19, I got it. And if I want 19 into 2, 38, I got it. But this 1, 2, 3, I want these range of numbers. So what I'll do in Python, there is something known as range. So the range is something like starting, ending, increment or decrement. Starting, ending, increment or decrement. And this starting, ending is just for, placeholder. You don't have to actually write starting, ending and things like that. Okay. Something like this. Okay. Now I want the starting number to be 1 because I want to start from 1. I want my ending number to be 10 because I want to go something like 19 into 10 is equal to 90. And increment and decrement, by default, I want the increment of 1. The range should go on and on by 1. So I'll just remove it because by default it is 1 only. Okay. And this range will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And this 1, 2, 3, I want to capture in a variable called I. And this I variable, okay, this I variable should be in this range. This I variable should be in this range, which means just think it out loud. If this variable called I is in range of 1 to 10, what all values will I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will have all these values. Okay. All these values it will have. And these values I want to print here, right? These values I want to print here. But if I want to run 19 into 1, then I want to run 19 into 2. I want to run 19 into 3. Anything that I want to do repeatedly, what was the concept I told you? Anything I wanted to do repeatedly, I have to use what? What is that concept? Write it in the chat. Loops. So I'll just write for loop. So for is a type of loop that whatever you write after the semicolon inside for loop, it will repeat. For I in range 1 to 10, which means repeat this thing for I 10 times. Can anyone tell me why this error is coming? Anyone tell me why this red error is coming? If you remember one concept which I told you. Whenever I put colon, what should be next? Indentation. So if I put colon and I press enter, 4 blank spaces are coming, which means this print statement should come inside the indented block. How to get that? Just go to this print and there is a tab. There's a tab button here. Tab. Just print tab. See, it came inside. It came inside. Okay. So what is a tab? Tab means 4 spaces. Okay. You can change that. Okay. And This I want to repeat I times. So what should I write instead of 1? What should I write instead of 1? I. So what happens? For I in range 1 to 10, repeat this line. For I in range 1 to 10, repeat this line. So what all things will be repeated? 19 into 1, 19 into 2, 19 into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 will not come because this is the end limit. Anything before 10 will come. Okay, so let's try to run the table of 19. Whoa. Okay. So 19 ones are 19, 92s are 38, 57. Okay. That's great. Okay. So if I want to do anything in a repeated format, I can use loops. I can use loops. Can anyone tell me if they can do some changes to this code and make this code work for any table in this word? Can you just tell me yes or no? Can you change this code to make it work for any table, any number? What will be the change you will be doing? What will be the change you will be doing? I am imagining you will be writing num is equal to input. In the thing you can write enter the number whose table you want, and whatever that number is you have to convert it into an integer, and this number I will just write instead of 19. So enter the number whose table you want. Now tell those uncles and aunties which table you want to hear, uncle and auntie. 17. Okay, here it is. Okay, so 1091. Okay. Okay. So basically, and if you want to write something like this, 19 into 1, you can do something like this: num into I. No, I'll tell you. Okay, so if you want to print something like something like this, you can do something like this. A concept of f string. There's a concept of f string. F means formatting of string. Let's say you want to put this number here. You can put curly brackets, and inside this you can write num, and the value of num will go inside this, and after that you want x, and then you want the value of I, then you want an equal to, then you want num into I. Now based on some kind of internal sense or some kind of knowledge, can you read this? Can you read this in your Python language? How many of you think they can read this? It's a string. It's a string in which this curly brackets is acting like a template, and inside the template you're filling in values. Can you tell me what will be printed in the screen if I run this? Can you tell me? Anyone? Can you tell me what will be printed on the screen if I run this? And this F stands for formatting. Okay, F stands for formatting, which means you can format things. Okay, that's great. Let's try to run this. Let's try to run this. Python mat table, enter the number whose table you want. I want the table of 15. 15 4s are 60, 15 5s are 75, 90, 100. something like this. Now I want 10, 15 into 10 as well. So I'll just make it. What change I need to do here? What change I need to do here? Instead of 10, what I'll make it? 11. Simple. So that it will run one less. Enter the number. I want the table for 23. 23 into 10, 230. Okay. Simple. So anything that you want to repeat, let's say, what will happen if I write print? What will happen if I write print hello? Or this. What will happen if I write print inside a for loop? Or what will happen if I write anything inside the for loop? It will repeat that many times. It will repeat. Okay? It will repeat that many times. Table of 2. See? It will repeat that many times. Okay? How many of you want to understand the logic of this statement? Because Sheikh is asking. How many of you want to understand the logic of this? Okay. See this. This double equal to is a normal string. Normal string. In which if you write this is 1. So 1 will be printed. If you write this is num, so and the value of num is equal to 50. Can you tell me what will be the output? If I write this is num, what will be output? Will it be this is 50 or this is num? What will you get? If in normal string, if I double quote this is num, will I get this is 50 or will I get this is num? I will get this is num. Why? Because normal string, whatever you put inside that, it will print. Whatever you put inside that, it will print. But there is something known as F string, which is formatted string, which basically is your normal string which starts with F. Now, if you want to put any variable or any operation in the string, you can directly put it inside curly brackets. Now let's say I want to print this is 50. What I'll write if the value of num is 50? Can you write it in the chat? If in F string, what will I write to get this output? This is 50. I'll simply write this is, and whatever variable I need to write, I'll use it inside the curly brackets. Num. This is curly brackets num. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this statement? Okay, what is the meaning of this statement? Just give 2 minutes of gaze. Just look at this statement and think if you are able to understand it or not. I wrote F, which means is it a formatted string or is it a normal string? I wrote F before the double quotes. It means it is a formatted string. Okay, it's a formatted string. Num. Let's say value of num is 50. What will come here? 50. Now see this. Anything that I write without the curly brackets, it's a string. Anything I write without the curly brackets, it's a string. So it will become as it is as a string. And let's say the value of I is 1. 50 into 1. Okay. What it is? 50 into 1. And this equal to is just equal to. And in the curly bracket, what is this? Num into I. This is an expression. And it will evaluate that expression. Let's say 50 into 1. What is the value? 50. So it will come something like this. Now, tell me the output of this. Name is equal to skill up club. Name is equal to skill up club. Session is equal to first. Session is equal to first. Feedback is equal to input. You have to give the input that how was session. Okay, how was the session? So if I write something like this, output is equal to f string welcome to nee I attended in the curly brackets name. This was my session feedback is in the curly brackets feedback. How many of you can read this Python line? How many of you can read this? If you are able to read this, it means you are, talking with me in Python language. How many of you just write yes or no if you are able to read? Not, I don't mean my handwriting. I know my handwriting is trash, but if you're able to read this, name Skill Up Club. So I attended Skill Up Club. This was my first. Feedback is whatever feedback you want to give it, and with that, I feel this is a lot for today. I'll just give you some time to absorb the information, and we'll just wrap up for today. Okay? Just write this program. Just write this program. Name is equal to whatever. Session is equal to, okay, feedback is equal to input. How was the session? And just write output is equal to this was my session in name. How was the session? Feedback. Okay. Let me know if you all can write this small Python program. If yes, basically, you know how to read Python. And if you know how to read Python, how many of you feel you can even write Python? If you can read Python, you can even write Python. How many of you feel that? Just give me a, yes in the chat. If you're able to read Python, it's pretty much easy to write Python as well. Okay. Now what I want you to do is, how many of you know what is GitHub? GitHub, how many of you know GitHub? Okay. Just go to GitHub and find my repository called TrainWithShubham 153. Okay, repository. And just search for Python Masterclass. Okay, Python Master. Just search for Python Masterclass. And go to basics. Okay. Go to basics. And here you will find some kind of, code. Just write yes or no if you are able to read this program and understand as well. What is this? What is this first 4 lines? What is it called? First 4 lines? It's called a multi-line comment. Okay? First 4 lines, this. Triple quotes. It's called multi-line comments. Okay. Now, what is this num1 float input this? Can anyone tell me what is this? Trying to take input. And what is this float doing with uh, parenthesis? What is this trying to do? Conversion. Data typecasting it is trying to do. Okay. What is this choice? Enter the choice plus, division, minus, something like this. What is this? Some kind of string. Some. And what is this if choice double equal to plus? What is this trying to do? It is trying to do condition. It is trying to do conditional check. Okay. How many of you are able to read this program? How many of you are able to read this program? And if you're not able to read, I'm not asking that read yes or no. If you have eyes, with God's grace, you will be able to read. What I'm trying to ask is, are you able to understand this code? If I want answer from everyone in the chat. Okay, I want answers from everyone in the chat. So that I'll get to know that, okay, this session you understood. Okay. Now see this. Loops. How many of you are able to read this? Can you tell me what is this 2 here? What is this 2? Step. Increment. So, what will be the values of I in this code? Can anyone tell me? What is the value of I? Values of I? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. The table of 2. Okay. Now, go to the next variables.py. Okay, you just saw this. Go to intermediate folder. Okay, don't go. For now, let's stick to the basics only. Okay, for now, let's stick to the basics. Okay. What if I share this repository with you? Will you be able to read the code and write the code as well? Some part? As a part of Sunday practice day, will you be able to do that? Yes? So here is the link. I've shared it in the chat. Okay. Just try to read and just try to read. Okay. And try to make mistakes. Read and make mistakes. Just read, make mistakes. Bring all sorts of errors and try to fix that. Okay. Okay. So with that being said, let's stop today's session and let me know in the chat if you enjoyed today's session or not. If you got to learn something, okay, because this is your first session. So when this recording will be available? So generally this is a Zoom platform. So Zoom will take some time. Okay, Zoom will take some time to process the video and then then do its thing. Okay, so Zoom will take some time. Okay, are you I think it will take 3 hours or so, 3 or 6 hours, not more than that. Okay, so maybe tomorrow. How about the follow up self-paced session? So every day one self-paced session will be unlocked for you. Okay, and once the session is unlocked for you, you will be able to do the practice. Okay, so all you have to do is go to Skill Up Club. Okay, go to Skill Up Club. So this is happening live. Go to Skill Up Club and then what you have to do is go to your Python for All cohort. So click on this live. So Python for all cohort is there. So 6 modules will be covered in total. Okay. I hope my screen is shared. Oh, it's not shared. So what I told, I'll just repeat it again. Okay. Go to Skill Up Club. Okay. Go to the community. You all have a premium access to this chat feature. Okay. So if you have any query, any DM, any query, you can ask me like this. You also have forums where you can ask questions. Okay. Go to your feed. You will see this. Just click on this. Please paste the link in chat. Okay. So go to Skill Up Club. This copy link address. Okay. community.skillupclub.co. I'll just paste the link in the chat. Okay, go to this and then go to this introduction to your Python cohort. Okay, go to your cohort. You can even go to this products, packages, Python for all cohort. Okay, you can go something like this. Okay. Now, once you go here, you will find introduction, how to install things, welcome, prerequisite. You will get all these things. Then every day, one video will be unlocked so that that day you will practice something new. Okay. So, for example, tomorrow's video, which is data structures in Python, list comprehension in Python, that is unlocked. Okay. You can start learning tomorrow and you can do it. Also, 17th March, it's a live class, but it won't be happening for some reason. It is moved to Monday, 18th, as we discussed. Introduction to data analytics. This video is available for you on 17th. Important libraries in data analytics, it will be available to you. Visualizing your data, it will be available to you. Okay. Then, see, it's all available to you. Important libraries in Pandas, see, it's all available to you. Okay. Now, Python for web development, 23rd March, there will be a live session. Before that, every day one session will be unlocked. Okay. And so on. Where the recording will be here only. Here only. You just have to go to your Skill Up Club, go to your products, whatever courses you have enrolled, just click on that and you will get something like this. Okay, you will get something like this. Okay. So everything is there in Skill Up Club. Let's say you want job updates. So job updates are also there. Let's say there is a job update for Python intern at GitHub Technologies. Just click on this. Skills required, these skills, upskill, and you can get something like this. So Shripad has some. You have not joined any channels. Please join a challenge to start chatting. Okay, I'll share the link to join. Okay, go to purchases. Yeah, go to purchases. Correct. That's correct. Go to purchases and then you will get it. Okay. So, do you like the way you all are getting to learn? It's a community based learning. So, basically, jobs, chats, events, news, everything is on a same platform so that you get the best experience of learning. Okay. So yes, go to your purchases. So in my case, there is no purchase because I have not purchased anything. But uh, in your case, you will be getting something like that. Okay. So all the job posting also I put here. If you want to interact with the community, you see this Manoj Das. So Manoj Das posts something like this and he gets points. So similarly, you also post, you also, try to be active in the community. You will be getting points, and towards the end of the month, I will be sending you all rewards if you are in the top 3. So Manoj, Akash, and Hamza, they will be getting some kind of rewards towards the end of the month. So this way, what I do, I am growing a community of tech enthusiasts where everyone can learn, everyone can grow, everyone can have communication. So yeah, that's it from my side. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you liked the session. And as mentioned, tomorrow there won't be a live class, but I will be unlocking self-paced. And on 18th, which is Monday, 7 p.m., there will be a live class. Okay, everyone fine with that? Everyone good? Okay. I think that's it from my side. You all are just amazing. This is the first time I am hosting a session like this, and I'm really enjoying it. So I hope you all enjoy as well. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you all in the next session, Monday or whenever. You will get a notification. Okay. That's it from my side. All of the code will be added to your cohort. Okay. All of the code will be added. I hope you all are getting confident in Python. Okay, once you get confident, everything will work smoothly. Okay, once you get confident, everything will work. Okay, happy weekend. Oh, yes, happy weekend. Bye, bye, bye. Thanks, everyone. Next session, Boto 3 will be there. Boto 3 will be towards the next weekend. It will take time. Okay, first you do the basics, then go to Boto and all those things. Okay. Okay, then. Thank you so much for being with me till here. That's it from my side, and I'll see you all in the next session. Ending the stream in 3, 2, 1. Bye.